Welcome back to the channel. It is I, your friendly neighborhood know-it-all purple belt. Today we have some exciting, explosive rounds to go over. We have a thin but wiry purple belt. We also have an aggressive blue belt with 0 quits in him. And for the finale, I'll be taking on an A-tier black belt with an absolutely ridiculous back control game. All right, let's get right into the action. Here I grab his collar and knee, looking for a flop pass to his left, but he's able to grab my leg, putting me in his half guard. With his right underhook, he gets up to his elbow and pressures into me. As I push back into him, he redirects my momentum, looking for a sweep. I grab his ankle to keep him from coming up, but then go to the knee bar for the tap. And just like that, we're right back at it. Here I grab his collar to pull De La Riva guard. As I do, he tries to hit a backstep pass, but then bails on it, squaring up with me. This gives me the angle to collar drag him, popping up on a single leg, and then step inside his leg and push him over to get the takedown. From here, I grab his knees, drive my way into him, slide through into dope mount, and step over into full mount to get 4 points right as the timer goes off. Here, both of us tie up and move around a little bit, trying to gauge each other's reactions before we commit to anything. I grab his gi in the armpit and shoot my hips in to pull butterfly guard. He immediately posts out with his arm, giving me an inverted armbar attack, which I use to sweep him over to side control. As he tries to invert to retain guard, I drive my head into his hips to flatten him out on the mat. Here I grab his knee and step over to mount. From here, I'm a fan of crossing my ankles underneath my partner's hips to maintain a very solid control. Here I grab his head and switch my hips, pulling myself into S mount. With a hold of his arm, I step over his head and hip in to get the finish by armbar. Here I adjust my cross collar grip, attacking a collar drag. He rolls as I go for this, putting me in side control. I get up to my toes and circle to his other side as he turns away from me, giving me the back control. Here he turns to his side, looking to escape my back control. I'm thinking about attacking his arm for another armbar right here. As I sit back to pull it, he tries to come up on top of me, so I hook his leg to prevent him from doing so. And after a little bit of finagling, I'm able to throw my leg over his head and hip in for the tap. Here I grab his knee, take him down, transition straight into an over-under pass to secure side control. I then pummel an underhook with my right arm. In addition to my crossface, this really solidifies side control. As I'm trying to attack an Americana, he throws his foot over my head, looking to create space to escape side control. I pull out, giving him enough space to turn away from me. As I circle to his back, he scrambles, putting me in 3/4 mount. I then lock up an Ezekiel choke because some of you in the comments seem to think I need to be working on this and get the tap. So there you guys go. Here he pummels his top leg over my waist and kicks back, putting me off balance, allowing him to retain guard. He tries to pop up on a single leg, which I push down, passing his guard. And now that we've hit a lull in the action, it would be a great time to hop on down and smash that like button. Okay, let's get back to the action. Hey bro, let's put on a show for the viewers, eh? As I look for a knee cut past to side control, the timer goes off and the round is over. We start out this round with a little bit of a feeling out process to gauge each other's reactions. I'm not gonna lie, I had recently hurt my neck, so I wasn't keen on the idea of going for any super aggressive takedowns. Let's see if that changes in a little bit though. Here he hits an arm drag to the single leg. As I try to sprawl out and kick out, he goes for the body lock, hips in, and throws me for the takedown. As he tries to take my back, I sit into him, putting him in my butterfly guard. I then go for an overhook and kick my leg over, looking for an omoplata attack. He then rolls to try to get out of it. As he does, I grab his wrist, switch my hips so that they're in line with his elbow, and hip in for the armbar. As soon as we restart, I snap his head down for the front headlock and then slide my left arm underneath his armpit and lock up a Darce choke. Here he grabs my leg, looking to get out of it. Out of the scramble, I throw my top leg over his back and hip him to finish the Darce.
Hello there.
Here I go for an arm drag inside trip takedown. This is easily one of my favorite takedowns. Here I smash his hips off to the side, step over into side mounts, and switch my hips to put my weight across his shoulders, keeping him locked down. Here he hips out and turns into me with an underhook. I slide my left arm underneath his armpit and lock up a darce. This time I step into mount and hip in to get the tap. I immediately go for an arm drag inside trip, as a lot of times it's good to work for a dominant position where you can rest and put the pressure on your opponent. With a crossface and underhook, I step my leg out of his half guard, slide through into knee on belly to secure the pass, and then slide straight through into full mount. Here I slide my knee over his right arm and step up to my right leg to lock down the overhook on his other arm. I then bring my foot over his head and attempt to lock down an omoplata attack, but he shrimps out, so instead I kick my left leg over his neck, lock up the triangle, and finish by cranking on the arm for the armbar. You see the drippy, I fit it up. Here I step off to the side, switch my hips, tripping him over my leg. I then pass straight into side control. I'm trying to work for a submission from here, but the timer goes off before I can get anything off. From his half butterfly guard, I post out hard with my right leg to try to keep my balance, but he has a strong grip on my sleeve and belt and is able to sweep me over into my quarter guard. As I try to lock his ankle down, solidifying quarter guard, he passes straight into side control. Framing on his arm, I hip out hard to create space, which I try to use to shove my legs in to retain guard, but he times it and hops on over, passing my guard to the other side. I immediately go to turtle because I'd rather be there instead of side control. At least in turtle, I have a little bit of movement on my side. With his knee blocking my hips, he sits in, chopping my base out, and tries to throw his top leg over for the hook. I roll out, trying to flatten my shoulders to the mat, and I'm able to put my weight over his bottom leg to prevent him from throwing it in to take full back mount. With my shin, I try to elevate his leg and turn it into him, but he's able to re-pummel his leg in for single hook back control. He then gets up to his elbow and does a set in to try to take my back, but I throw my top leg over his to prevent him from throwing over the second back hook. If we were in a tournament, technically he wouldn't get the points for back mount, but that does little to help me now, as this position really sucks to be in. As I'm trying to walk my way over his shoulders and get out, he tries to throw his bottom hook in, so I throw my bottom leg over it to keep him from doing so. My success is short-lived as he brings his top leg over my waist to pull his bottom leg out and throw it over to solidify the back control. Here he steps over my top arm to trap it, taking away one of my options for defense. Now he's able to, after a little bit of work, lock up the one arm rear naked choke and hip in for the tap. As I was trying to pass his guard, he inverts underneath me, hips out, and throws his top leg over, trying to take my back. I strip my weight over his bottom leg to prevent him from solidifying back control though. And after a little bit of fighting, he bails on the fight for back control and transitions into the Kimura trap position. He tries again to sit into back control, but I'm able to keep him from putting in any of his hooks. Here I use my hips and my feet to trap his bottom leg to try to keep him from moving as much as possible. Sadly though, he's able to put his top hook in, do another set in, and then triangle his legs behind my leg, putting me in the truck position.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're...
After a little bit of moving around, he's able to hip out, throw his left leg in to solidify back control, and with a little bit of work out of back control, he's able to trap my top arm again, go for the rear naked choke, and get the tap. That's right guys, I will be taking him on again, but this time in no-gi. I immediately jump in between his legs, pulling guard, putting him off balance, coming up on an X-guard sweep, driving into him to get the finish. With an underhook, he tries to go for a half-guard sweep. I square up with him, so he decides to transition into full guard. Here he tries to pull his foot over my neck, so I posture up and get out of there. As he gets up on his elbow looking to attack half guard again, I dive over his back looking for the Kimura trap. This is a move I saw on Instagram, which works surprisingly well. Here he bridges, turns in, putting me in side control. I hip out, create space, and go to turtle. As I do, he wraps up a Japanese necktie attack. He immediately tries to go for the Darce choke, but I keep moving, preventing him from locking it up all the way. He bails on the Darce choke, hopping around to the back. As I hit a roll to scramble, he's able to follow me over, throw one of his hooks in, and lock up the truck. He hits another sit in here, trying to throw over his other hook. I try to block it by hooking it with my foot, but he switches his other leg across, pulls his hook out, and throws it in for full back control. Since I'm stacking my weight on top of him, he bails on back control, going for the crucifix. And with a little bit of work, he's able to pry his top arm underneath my neck, lock up the rear naked choke, and then hip in to get the tap. Right off the bat, I go for an arm drag inside trip. He counters with a Kimura, so I roll forward, putting my back on the mat and kicking out to get out of it. I go right back to the arm drag inside trip, getting the takedown this time. Off his back, he looks for a Kimura on my left arm. He then throws his leg over and starts climbing up, eventually locking up a triangle. From here, I still have a little bit of breathing room, so I'm not ready to tap. But then he underhooks my leg and goes for a toe hold, forcing me to tap. Alright guys, that's all the action that we have for today. I hope you enjoyed watching these rounds and were hopefully able to learn a thing or two from them as well. Now, some of you have been asking recently with all the rounds that I do, how I keep up my conditioning. And I have to say that honestly, the thing that has the biggest impact on my gas tank for the mats is getting in as many rounds as I can. Every time that I train, I always try to be the last person on the mats. And if you're looking to build up your endurance to become a better grappler, then I want to challenge you for the next month to hit every single round after class. Now, does this mean that you have to roll with the toughest guy on the mats every single round? No. Sometimes I'll roll with somebody I can be a little more playful with if I'm feeling a little tired. If you are down to challenge yourself for the next month, then I want you to go down and comment below, challenge accepted. Let 2021 be the year that you truly take your jiu-jitsu to the next level. If you like watching the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It really helps your boy out. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Jedi. Welcome aboard. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 7 years, and I draw from that experience to give you quality jiu-jitsu videos every single Friday that you don't want to miss, so be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. I will talk to you guys in the next video. Remember, stay consistent and you can do anything. I'm gonna leave you with this preview of next week's video, which is gonna be an absolute banger.